unsuspected pistol live ammunition recovered on the deceased bed at the crime scene.
Did you test that? You saw that's one bullet. Did you test it for lead, barium, or antimony?
I didn't.
That's a total of 11 rounds of ammunition from the magazine and the one bullet, right?
No, 2 and 3. You're combining 2 and 3.
Yes.
That adds up to 11, I guess.
And next?
That's number 4. 10, a black pistol box containing 17 pistol live ammunitions.
17 bullets.
Pistol live ammunitions.
Okay. Did you test any of that ammunition for lead, barium, and antimony?
I didn't.
My lord, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, my colleague, to disrupt. My lord, maybe I am wrong, but is it proper that the defense cross-examines this witness on a report that he never authored and is being asked whether he examined these things as though these samples were submitted to him for analysis? You know, in as much as you can ask anything in cross-examination, my lord.
Relevant.
Yes, it must be relevant. If you are to rely on a report, my lord, just a minute. You are to rely on a report. You also have to establish the connection between the witness and the subject matter. So at best, this line of cross-examination is soliciting hearsay. And that's why the witness is actually wondering, maybe, because we must establish that he has a connection with what is being asked. Otherwise, the court record is going to be full of hearsay.
My lord, it can't be hearsay when I'm asking what he examined.
But he said he didn't examine. And that is his answer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. My lord, even the items that he examined, even the items, my lord, that he examined, I don't see. Can you confirm there's M1, M2, and M3?
But we were told here by a witness that different sets, 2 sets were taken, 1 set for his lab, 1 set for the other lab. That was clarified here during.
No, my lord. The very items he tested, you get that document, the very items he tested, you tell their movement from the internal exhibit movement document, which is this one here. Those very documents that he received come from there. So I'm asking him basically, he received some, he didn't receive others. And it's not here, so when I ask him, did you? And he says, I did not. Did you? I did not. That can't be here.
No, it's not that part is not hearsay, but yes. That is not his report. He's not the expert who looked at it. Of what value is this portion? Because I remember here in court, there's a witness who clarified about if the samples are going to be taken to more than 1 lab, they take 2 sets of, say, M1, they take 2 sets of M2, and they take 2 sets of M3. If there were 3 labs, they would have taken 3 sets. That is the clarification. It's somewhere in the report that was given.
For your indulgence, just 5 minutes to conclude this line of question. I'll finish with it in 5 minutes. Much obliged. Continue.
I'm waiting for you.
Yeah, what's the next one?
Where did we stop? I think that's 5.
17 bullets.
17 pistol live ammunitions, you mean?
That's 11, those are now 28.
Okay.
Yes.
At point number 5, 4-2, 1 suspected pistol live ammunition recovered from exhibit labeled 4 in the chamber.
Those are 29 in total. Right?
You're counting?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm asking you to confirm.
I don't know. I have not been counting.
Okay,
no, is it there? Is there?
29 is not here. I think he's counting from up, and I'm not counting.
Okay, you found a live suspected ammunition from the chamber.
Yes.
Of the exhibit 4.
That's what I'm reading. It's written here.
Yes. And you can confirm that on all that ammunition, you did not carry out an elemental analysis for lead, barium, and antimony.
You are not submitted to our lab.
Were not submitted to your lab. Now, what was submitted to your lab were 12 exhibits, right?
That's true. If you can give me back my report.
No, they're also in that one.
Which one?
In that very one.
I don't understand this one. Let me look at mine.
Yeah, who submitted them to you? Not Sawali.
Let me look at mine.
Who submitted them?
Let me look at mine.
Look at yours.
Yes, 12 test items were submitted.
And all of them were submitted from the ballistics lab.
Correct.
Just to clear up the point my lord had raised, the swabs the ballistics labs received are the very swabs you also received.
I don't know.
That was not what I, because someone came here and said that, I've not said that they were the same swabs. Somebody said, I can't remember, I think it was 11, that when samples are taken, they take copies. They don't take only one. Because if they are going to go to X number of labs, they will take X number of samples. So in this case, there were 2 of each. There were 2 M12s, there were 2 M, yeah, some went to DNA, others went to the ballistics, some went first to, I think there was something like that, but there was more than, so we cannot say that the same thing that went to ballistics went to.
That's what I want to ask him. I know that's the question I'm putting to him. I want you to confirm that the same thing. What did you receive swabs from the? Did you receive swabs from the police on a police form 17A?
No.
Did you receive instead swabs from the ballistics department?
Yes, I received swabs from the ballistics department.
And you have no idea where the ballistics department received those swabs from?
Received blind samples.
Pardon?
Answer my question.
Received blind samples. You have no idea where they get them
Where
from.
the ballistics department got these swabs. And you can confirm in the 12 exhibits you received, you did not conduct an elemental analysis for lead, barium, and antimony.
We did not.
So it is fair to say that on none of the exhibits in this case was lead, barium, and antimony found.
We did not examine for lead, antimony, and barium.
That's the matter in yes.
Yes.
Maybe you can close it.
Afande yagira ngu polisi nehereza abantu abakwenda kutunga embundu nebahereza license. Abantu abatari basirikale abatari ba police officers nebahereza license kutunga embundu ebyo kwa bein. Then ekindi yagira ngu taratungire amasasi 30 agarugire akatunga amasasi 30 agarugire ballistic report agari ballistic report. Then ekindi yagira ngu exhibit number 4-1 oba nchecho ekeine ni pistol magazine ekerimu amasasi 10. Then endijo batunga isasi rumwe eribihire aha kitanda ky'omugenzi. Then yeah, one ammunition, one stand. This is this bedroom bed. Yeah, aha kitanda ky'omugenzi. Then endijo ni box ya pistol erikwiragura ekerimu amasasi 17 byona hamwe kubaga gitaga amasasi 28 from the bed. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. They were not submitted to the konkati balagahiireyo okugakebera omunanka mu laboratory then yagira ngu ebintu ebyatungirewe bikaba biri 12 well, what is that? Yes. Yagira ngu taratungire amasasi swabs kuruga omunanka omu akagatunga taragatungira aha police form 17A akagatunga kuruga omu ballistic. I think that's all.
You're aware that an inorganic gunshot residue test is also called a particle analysis, right?
Yes, I'm aware.
Are you aware of a department of the government called the Directorate of Government Analytical Laboratories, DGA?
I'm aware.
Are you aware that it is a forensic laboratory?
Government Analytical Laboratory.
Does it do forensic work?
I think they do.
Are you aware? My Lord, I'm trying to slow down. Are you aware that they are the main lab that has been providing gunshot residue analysis to the courts in criminal cases?
Depends on who asked.
Are you aware that?
I'm not aware.
But they also provide gunshot residue analysis.
I don't know their scope of work.
Are you aware?
I don't work at
I'm
DGA.
asking another question.
Yes.
You don't have to always explode. Listen.
Hey, it's okay. Because you're pushing.
You've answered the question, I'm asking another one.
Clear.
You're not aware of their scope of work.
Yes.
You wanted to add that because you don't work at DGA.
Boss.
That is out of hyperbole. Maybe we can add it. You don't work at DGA.
Clear.
Okay. Are you aware, Dr. Kisito, that in fact you are the first forensic scientist to come to this High Court of Uganda claiming that he has found gunshot residue without testing for lead barium and antimony?
Come again.
Are you aware that you are the first forensic scientist to have come to this High Court of Uganda claiming to have found gunshot residue without testing for lead barium and antimony?
I don't know.
In fact, your record is all over East Africa.
I'm lucky.
In all of East Africa, I'm putting it to you. No scientist has yet developed the audacity to appear under oath and claim he found gunshot residue without testing for lead, barium, and antimony. Are you aware?
I'm hearing it from you.
Are you aware of another one who has done it?
I don't know.
That means
I
no.
don't rule it out.
Okay. Are you aware? You said you conducted your education in Europe, in Germany and in Europe, using in Germany a PhD and in Europe as an Erasmus Mundus scholar, right?
Europe is not a country. Come clear.
The EU. You are in the EU.
I was in the EU, but not everywhere in the EU.
Where were you?
I went to Lincoln, UK.
Hmm?
I went to Cordoba, Spain. I went to Portugal.
So you were in the UK, Spain, Portugal, and Germany.
Yes, that's true.
Are you aware of the organization called the European Network of Forensic Science Institutes, ENFSI?
I have read about it.
Are you aware? Huh? Are you aware of the European Institute called the European Network of Forensic Science Institutes?
I read about it.
That means yes.
Yes, I have read about it. I know about it.
And you are aware that that institute has not yet approved a testing method for organic gunshot residue, right?
Come again?
You're aware that the method you used has not yet been approved by that. There's no guideline of best practice developed by ENFSI for the method you have used.
There is peer-reviewed literature that guides on
Answer
how
my
to use.
question.
I'm not aware.
You're not aware of any guideline of best practice issued by ENFSI for gunshot residue, right?
For which one?
Organic gunshot residue. The method you used.
What is the question? Come clear.
You're not aware that the method used to test gunshot residue using the organic method
Yes, yes.
has not been.
As there's no best practice manual developed by the European Network of Forensic Science Institutes, right?
I don't know.
So you're asking whether it is backed by that institute?
Yes. He doesn't know. You're also in Lincoln, UK.
Yes, I was.
You're aware of the forensic science regulator in the UK?
No.
Do you know, under the guidelines for forensic science in the UK, the sort of evidence you've given in this court today is not even admissible. You cannot do a gunshot residue test in the UK without first testing for lead, barium, and antimony and give evidence. Are you aware of that?
I'm not aware.
Are you aware that even in jurisdictions where organic gunshot residue tests are accepted, they only come to complement a test for lead, barium, and antimony, not to replace it?
I've seen some literature citing as is.
Saying what I've said.
Yes, some.
Thank you. Oh, just to be clear, there is literature that says that a test for an organic gunshot residue test complements and does not replace a test for lead, barium, and antimony, right?
By complementing, you mean?
That's what you said. I'm just getting your
Yes,
answer.
because what I know is that they are proposing alternatives to what you are saying, lead, barium, and antimony.
I'm proposing addition,
Alternatives.
complementary.
Alternatives.
Okay. So there's some proposal for complementary and some for addition.
If you want an explanation, I can give.
No, I want you to answer my question.
What's
Yes or
your
no?
question?
My
What's your
question is,
question?
are you aware that even where they allow you to test for organic gunshot residue, you must do it as a complementary test to a test for lead, barium, and antimony?
I'm not aware.
Okay.
What did you ask? You are not aware?
Is he aware that even where they allow a test for inorganic gunshot residue, for organic gunshot residue, it must be complementary to a test for lead, barium, and antimony? Now, can you also confirm that from your report, we do not have any quantitative results?
Quantitative meaning?
How much gunpowder was found in whatever you found?
I mean, what do you mean by quantitative?
Quantity, how much was found?
How much was found? It's not
Yes.
indicated. Yes, that's true.
So the answer is there's no quantitative analysis in this report.
In the report, it's not indicated.
Thank you. You can also confirm that your report has not attached any literature, any standard, or any study to it that shows you can use organic gunshot residue to replace a test for inorganic gunshot residue, right?
There's no reference to our report.
No reference in your report.
Yes.
And you can confirm that all throughout your evidence, since you started giving your evidence in this matter, you have constantly made reference to what you call literature, right?
Yes, I have.
Which you have not attached or even cited.
As I have talked about literature when you asked me a question.
No. You haven't attached any literature or cited it.
I have
Even in your
not
evidence
attached-
in chief, you spoke a lot
I
about
have
literature.
not attached literature.
Okay. My lord, can I have an interpretation?
yagira ngu namanya what is it called? The department in Runyankole. Giga, yes. Ekutestinga netestinga ebintu ebikwije omu kooti niyo eshemere kuba ne laboratory yeshemere kuba ne checking anashi ne testing ebintu ebikwije omu kooti dajya ngu nakimanya konka yajya ngu takumanya ngu yonka eshemere kuba nebikoraho then ekindi yagira ngu to have found a shotgun mfuta kumanya ngu report ngwe kashanga ngo harimu ngo amashasi then ekindi yagira ngu akaza omu UK yambuza amashomero gi yashomere yagira ngu akaza UK yaza Portugal yaza Spain yaza na Germany yambuza ngu arashomereho arahurireho institute ya European, I didn't get the other thing in European Institute something yagira ngu na akagihuriraho nasha akagishomaho then yambuza by the institute namanya nanka institute ebyo gukora yagira ngu ego yambira ngu report ye ekukira yakozire agitiremu akana agamba institute kandi institute kurugiro okwe ebyo ina ha website yayo teka bire gukora ebintu ebiyagambireho mu report ye. Then this is what he said. Okay. Then yambira ngu mu report ye taratiremu quantitative analysis. What is it in Runyankole? Binje ebivaro, yes. Taratiremu ebivaro. I think that is it briefly.
So I want us to spend just the next few minutes talking about organic gunshot residue.
Yes, Council.
Go to page 2 of your report. That is
I'm at
just by looking down the time supply copy.
That's P45.
Yes, P45. That is. Yeah. Got it?
Are you referring to this one?
Yes.
Yes, I have it.
You have a photocopy of your book.
I think I have. I want to know actually where this one comes from.
Okay. Now, confirm. Okay, let me tell the whole report.
No. What they need to find out. No. I want 45, not 30. 45.
So on page 2.
Yes.
Of 2.
Yes.
You see the title Analytical Notes.
I see the title analytical notes paragraph 4.
Can you confirm that in that title you provide a table of what you call organic components of gunshot residues?
I confirm.
And again, there's no link to any study for this table, right?
What do you mean?
You don't have any where you don't show us the source of this table.
Yeah, it's not attached.
And you can confirm that this table contains 10 compounds that you call organic components of gunshot residue, right?
I confirm.
Sorry, I'm told my microphone had been off. But you've confirmed that the table contains 10 compounds that you describe as organic gunshot residue, right?
Yes, I confirm there are 10 compounds as organic components of gunshot residues.
And according to this table, these 10 compounds have 4 uses, right? At the end of the table, there's something called use.
Use nature.
Use nature.
Yes.
So it's fair to say that these 10 compounds have 4 uses, right?
No, it's not the same.
It's fair to say that these 4 compounds have 4 use stroke nature.
No.
What do they have? What are these 4 things?
These are classes of compounds. I've classed them.
Okay, so it's fair to say these 10 compounds have 4 classes.
Maybe that is similar, close to.
If it's not close to, what is there for?
Because what Council is deriving to, my lord, is that he's looking at the last column here, and he wants to categorize this compound based on the last column.
That's what you've done.
Yes.
Yes, that's what you've done.
Mm-hmm.
So it's that.
If that's what you mean, that is it. The use nature, yes. He wants to class them based on use nature.
So according to this table, the 10 compounds have 4 classes. Or
Classes in gunshot residue. Use nature in gunshot residues.
They have
Gunpowder.
4 uses.
They are not
They
for
have 4
uses.
functions.
Council.
use nature. Well, okay, what's the difference between use and use nature?
Because these compounds could be used somewhere else, for example.
My question
Okay,
is,
if we say use, what would we be meaning? And what if we say use nature?
These compounds are in gunpowder, my lord.
You first explain use.
Yes.
Use we all know.
Yes, my lord. In gunpowder, you find these substances.
Yes.
There, what's listed in the last column here is what they are put there for.
their use.
Why they are put in gunpowder,
The
this is
purpose.
the purpose of putting them in gunpowder.
So those are four classes of
Use
purpose.
for purpose, let's say, for example. Yes.
So, can you just tell us why you use the term use nature? It's your term.
Yes, I used it because I think it made a description of what I wanted to intend to put out.
Is it 1 word, 2 words?
You are looking at it, Council.
Yes.
There are 2 words.
Use and nature.
Yes.
The manner of use, the way of using. Is
In
that
my way of using the purpose,
The manner.
yes, the manner of using in gunpowder. That's it.
Would that be correct to say that these 10 compounds can be divided into these 4 groups?
Based on the use nature, you're right.
And you told us you conducted a targeted analysis, new evidence in chief, right?
I did.
That means you looked for these 10.
We looked for these 10. We looked for more than 10 because our method we developed, just like in the publication I gave you, it has many other compounds. But when we are looking for gunshot residues, we are targeting these 10.
But you can confirm that a large amount of these 10 are not in the publication you gave me.
That's true.
So the 4 uses, or the 4 groups, so to speak, are propellant, flash inhibitors, plasticizers, and stabilizers, right?
Stabilizers, right?
Those ones. And you can confirm that that table represents your true, honest, represented, your true, honest, and complete opinion, right?
Come clear on the question.
I'm using the words in your declaration. In your declaration, you said, and I want to use the table specifically, that this table represents your true, honest, and complete professional opinion, right?
I don't get it clearly. This table represents my professional opinion?
When you put this table in here, those are the facts that you had, and those facts you believed them to be true, and they represented your true, honest, complete professional opinion. Those are the words contained in the declaration.
Those words are in the declaration.
Does the declaration apply to this table?
Yes, it does apply to this table.
So, let's translate.
Kanso yatwara fande aha table eri mu report ye yakozire yamgira ngu namanya mutaratarore tarloreki. Okay, he did not show ahiyahire nanka ebyatiro nanko mu table yagira ngu yamgira 10 compounds of gunshot residue. Now those ones 10 compounds of gunshot residue. Octafa. Okay. But the things are really. Anyway, kwerekayo yagira ngo ebintu byone ebiri mu report namanya ngu bishikire nko kuyabitiremu kandi byona nakiriza ngu akabikora bishikire.
Yeah. Okay. So on your list, number 1, you identify a compound called nitroglycerin, right?
That's true.
It's a
Meaning the table.
NG.
You are referring in the table.
Yes.
Yes, that's true.
I'm starting from up.
That's serial number 1.
I want you just to know I'm going to cross-examine you on all 4.
Okay.
So I'm starting with propellant.
Yes,
You identify something called nitroglycerin, right?
that's true.
In your evidence in chief, you admitted that you had left out another compound, right? Erroneously.
Did I say erroneously?
Did you leave it out intentionally?
No, it's not left out intentionally.
So it was left out erroneously.
Not erroneously.
Okay, you left out another compound.
Yes,
Can you tell us what that compound is?
nitrocellulose.
Nitrocellulose.
Cellulose.
CELL?
Yes.
U.
ULOSE. Okay. Nitro first.
Pardon?
Nitro, then what we have just spelled with you.
So nitrocellulose.
Yes.
So the propellant actually has 2 compounds.
That's true.
nitroglycerin, and nitrocellulose.
That's true.
And in fact, in evidence in chief, you claim that nitrocellulose was even seen in the target compound.
That's not me. That's not what I said.
What did you say?
What I said is that nitrophenylamine was detected as a breakdown product of nitrocellulose.
You said that nitro?
Phenylamine.
Please spell that.
NPA, my lord, it is spelled on on page 1.
Nitro.
Page 1, number 3. In the table, number 3. Under D5.
Okay.
It's called nitrophenylamine. Page 1. It just has 2 pages. It is item 3. That's how it's spelled. So when you left out,
Sorry?
Say that nitro. Phenylamine was left out.
Not
that
my
what you
lord.
said?
Counsel asked me
Yes.
why I left out a substance in the table here.
Mm-hmm.
He asked me the substance, I said it was nitrocellulose.
Yes.
And then he asked me that during my examination, I said that I had found nitrocellulose. I said no. Then he said, what did you say? I took him to this point, where I told him that I saw nitrophenylamine, which is a breakdown product of nitrocellulose.
are you with us?
Yes, I'm with you.
So you left nitrocellulose out of the propellant.
It's not indicated in the table.
And you are saying this was intentional.
Yes,
Why is it intentional?
because you cannot see nitrocellulose in LCMS.
You cannot see nitrocellulose
In
in the
LCMS?
LCMS system.
Yes.
And is that indicated anywhere in your report?
That,
That you cannot see nitrocellulose in the LCMS system?
it's not indicated.
All you did is you left it out.
I left it out, yes.
Because it looks to me that after you wrote your report and submitted it, you then discovered a new compound,
Which one is that?
nitrocellulose.
I knew about it.
You knew about it by the time you were writing your report.
I knew
You
about
just
it.
deliberately left it out.
I knew about it long before I wrote my report.
And you just deliberately left it out of your report.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So, a propellant actually contains nitroglycerin and nitrocellulose, right?
If it's single base or double base.
Very good. I wanted to do a demonstration. So there is double base. If I have 2 compounds,
Yes.
double base
True.
is
Double base,
nitroglycerin and nitrocellulose.
yes.
Single base is nitrocellulose alone.
It could be nitrocellulose, it could be one of them.
Can nitroglycerin exist in a single base propellant?
Actually, I don't know. I'm not a gun expert, so for this one, I don't know how much they're manufacturing in their bullets.
This is not a gun expertise.
What is it?
Confirm.
Yes.
I'm going to suggest to you
Suggest.
that a double base,
Mhm.
yeah,
Mhm.
is nitroglycerin and nitrocellulose.
That I have seen in literature.
And a single base is nitrocellulose alone.
That one I've seen, but I cannot confirm whether it's with nitrocellulose alone.
Okay, let me put it like this. Is nitroglycerin a liquid?
It depends on the form it's being administered to.
Is it a liquid?
It could be a liquid.
Are you aware that nitroglycerin is a highly explosive liquid used in bombs?
Yes, I'm aware. I
Are
don't
you
want to say
aware?
anything.
Are you aware that it only becomes gunpowder when connected with nitrocellulose?
It only becomes.
It only becomes a double base propellant
Mhm.
when it's connected with nitrocellulose that can solidify it. You're not aware it's okay.
I'm not aware.
So what I want to suggest to you is you need to go back to the literature and read about propellants. On its own, nitroglycerin cannot be a propellant.
Okay.
And your machine cannot identify the one compound that is a primary requirement of a propellant.
That's not true.
Is your evidence here
Yes.
that your machine cannot identify nitrocellulose?
Yes.
And I am putting it to you that the minimum criteria for saying something is a propellant is the presence of nitrocellulose.
Nitrocellulose was detected in this as its derivative was detected in this
I
analysis.
am coming here.
Mhm.
No, we'll come to the derivative.
Okay.
I'm here first. That nitroglycerin on its own cannot be a propellant without the presence of nitrocellulose.
Okay.
Okay? Now,
I don't know, but that's what his narrative is.
what's the answer?
I'm not sure.
I don't know if there are
I'm not sure.
coming.
I'm not sure.
No, please don't change your answer depending on what
I have not changed my answer.
from a sedentary position.
I've not changed my answer.
You're not sure if nitroglycerin
Glycerin.
Can exist.
can exist without nitrocellulose as a propellant.
That one I'm not sure.
You'll check the literature.
If it's relevant, I'll check the literature. If it's not relevant, I'll go and sleep.
Yeah, I think you slept. Okay. So, now, next you have flash inhibitors, right?
Yes. Yes, they are.
In fact, let's just finish nitroglycerin. Just read 4B. 4B.
4B nitroglycerin, besides its use in explosive industry, has medical applications as an angina vasodilation agent.
So nitroglycerin has use in the explosive industry and the pharmaceutical industry, right?
Yes, that's true.
In the making of bombs. Now let's go to flash inhibitors.
I'm there.
You list how many? You list 3, right?
Yes, there are toluenes. Yes, there are 3 toluenes here.
Toluenes, that's the last word.
Yes.
So that's 2,3 dinitrile, those ones.
Mm-hmm.
Just confirm you didn't find any in this case.
I didn't.
Let's go to the next one, which was plasticizers.
Yes.
You list 3 plasticizers, abbreviated MF, EF, and BF, right?
You're right.
Confirm you didn't find any in this case.
I did not find plasticizers.
Maybe my lordship can translate.
Prepare a translation for the word plasticizer. Anyway, kiriyo nikigenda omu maisho kansi ariyo nabuuza afande obujulizi okuba atungiremu amasasi agubihire omu mbundu okuba agakyebire okuba bikyebire n'okuba atungire obujulizi obwareetire omu kooti nibyo ariyo namubuuza araba aratera ebi babikoriremu ahabwenki ebimwe yabitigireyo ahabwenki akabitigayo n'ahabwenki yariyo namushoboorera ebintu byine technicalities tinkubaasa kubishoboora munonga.
And then the last item is the stabilizers, right?
Yes, you're right.
And you list 3 stabilizers, abbreviated as DPA, MC, and EC.
That's true.
Just confirm you did not find EC and MC in this case.
I did not.
On DPA, you have a footnote. Confirm you have a footnote on DPA.
There is a footnote.
Mark number 1.
True.
Yes?
That's true.
And confirm the footnote says that has, I take it that means DPA has, right?
Mm-hmm.
You answer.
Yeah, that's true.
DPA has breakdown products, stroke derivatives, including 2N-DPA, 4N-DPA, N-N-DPA, and 4-nitroso-DPA, right?
Right.
That's in the table down there. Here. The footnote here. Now, you will agree with me my lord?
Yes,
You'll agree with me that DPA is a specific chemical compound, right?
Specific as in how? What do you mean?
It's specific, it's DPA, it's unique, it's called DPA. There's a specific chemical compound called DPA. I want to use the abbreviation, diphenylamine.
Diphenylamine, yes.
It's a specific chemical compound, right?
Called diphenylamine.
Yes.
Yes, that's true.
And it has a known stable molecular structure.
What do you mean stable?
It has a known molecular structure. It has it has a known molecular structure. Yes or no?
Chemical structure, you mean?
Yes, it has a known chemical structure.
That's true.
And NNDPA, these compounds here, 2 NDPA, sorry, 2 NDPA, 4 NDPA, N NDPA, and 4 nitroso DPA are all compounds that begin with DPA but have been chemically modified, right?
That's true.
My lord,
Yes, please proceed.
and once the structure changes, it becomes a new compound with a different chemical and physical properties.
What do you mean?
Let me put it like this. NNDPA is a chemically distinct substance from DPA.
Chemically distinct as in how?
It has its own chemical structure.
Yes, that's true.
So it's different from DPA.
That's true. Mean by chemical structure?
Yes, it's different
Yes.
from DPA.
By chemical structure, it's different from DPA.
In fact, the same applies to 2 NDPA, 4 NDPA, and 4 nitroso DPA.
Yes, the chemical structurally different from DPA.
In fact, although they are derived from DPA, they are separate compounds from DPA.
Am clear?
Although their parent is DPA, they are different from their parent.
Different how?
I'm asking you.
They are structurally, they have different structures, if that's what you mean.
So they are different.
Can they be said to be separate compounds? Can they be said to be separate compounds?
Compounds can have the same molecular weight, but different structures.
Can they be said to be different
Explain to
compounds?
quote.
Yes, that
Although they are derived from DPA, they have separate.
they have separate chemical structures, but their chemistry is the same.
So they have. What's the difference between chemistry and chemical structure?
Yes, my lord. If this thing is made from wood, and this table is made from wood, they are all woods, but they're not from the same shape. The other one is the chemical structure, but if you look at the wood where it's made from, the chemistry of wood is the same.
So if you put 2 NDPA, 4 NDPA, and the other DPAs, you compare them with DPA, you'll find that they are separate compounds, but they have the same chemical structure.
They will be structurally related, but modified, just like Council put it.
They'll be different.
Yes, they will be structurally different.
So they're not the same
Same as in what parameter?
as
How are
DPA.
they related?
How they are related is that they come from DPA.
How are they different?
How they're different is that their nitro groups have been added to them.
Nitro?
So nitro groups. So you have DPA, and then you attach your nitro groups. That's how you form the 2N at position 2 or position 4.
Nitro groups.
Nitro groups, yes.
Yeah, nitrates.
Nitro groups.
So how then different do they become?
So the only difference is like if you look at the structure of DPA, something else has been added on. The nitro group has been added to DPA.
To form one thing.
Which thing?
2 NDPA.
Yes.
So to form a different thing. Because DPA doesn't have the nitro group.
Well, when we talk about chemical structure similarity, they are structurally similar. But if you say they are different substances that have different chemical structures, then you are spot on. They are structurally similar.
So to DPA, you add a nitro group
It
to get
comes-
the derivatives.
Get the derivatives, yes, madam. Yes, my lord.
You might require to take courses in chemistry.
So let me put it like this. Your lab identifies each of these items by their specific names because each of them has a specific chemical fingerprint.
That is true.
And because they have different structures, they behave differently when you test them.
They have testing where?
In your lab. That's why you're able to tell me this is 2 NDPA, this is 4 NDPA, because their behavior cannot be the same.
Their transitions are different and their retention times are different.
So they behave differently when tested.
Their transitions are different and their retention times are different.
Yeah, you see, Dr. Chesito, my question was, they behave differently when tested. Retention time is your method in chromatography testing, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So they behave differently when tested.
So you said the transitions and
retention times, the RT. My lord, that's the method of chromatography testing, right? So my question is, they behave differently when tested.
Tested where?
Using your instrument.
Tested on which one? If you're testing them by chromatography, they will be different. They have different retention times.
I'm asking you about your lab.
Our lab does many things. Which one are you talking about?
What you did here.
Chromatography, you mean?
You're telling us that the
Yes.
retention time will be different, right?
Yes, in chromatography.
That retention time which we're talking about is part of your liquid chromatography test, right?
That's true.
So, my question to you, when you test them, they behave differently. Your answer, they have different retention times. When I tested them in my liquid chromatography, please assist this court with clear and straight answers. What we are trying to do here is a noble job.
My
Do
lord.
not be evasive.
My lord, I ask counsel when he asks a question to give a specific question. If you ask me if you test them in your lab, testing with what? You tell me if you test them in chromatography, are they behaving the same? I'll give you an answer.
Let me ask you. Your instruments identify each compound separately based on their unique chemical structure, correct?
Yes.
please repeat that.
These instruments identify each of those compounds separately based on those compounds' unique chemical signature. And the answer was yes.
Yes.
So even if they all come from DPA, when you test them, you don't say DPA stroke DPA derivative. You name the specific compound, right?
Come clear?
Even if they all come from DPA, when you test them, yeah, you identify the specific compound. You don't say DPA derivative. You mention the specific compound because it has a different chemical signature,
true.
right? So, NNDPA, 2NDPA, 4-nitroso-DPA are not the same substance.
They are isomers.
Yeah, answer my question. Are they the same or are they chemically different?
They're structurally similar, but they have different chemical structures.
They're structurally similar, but
Yes, but have different chemical structures. Structurally similar.
Okay, let me put it another way.
But have different chemical structures.
they are structurally similar, but they have different chemical structure.
Yes.
So which structure is similar?
My lord,
What's the difference
yes.
from structure and chemical structure?
If you got DPA and you compare it with one of its derivatives, they give you a structural similarity of 90% similarity.
So DPA,
Because it means,
just let's first capture that DPA and its derivative,
yes, are structurally similar.
when tested, have a structural similarity of 90%.
Yes.
So the answer to my question was the presence of one does not prove the presence of the other, right?
Presence of what?
Of 2-NDPA, 4-NDPA doesn't prove the presence of the other. If you find 2-NDPA, you can't say I found here 4-NDPA.
If you find 2-NDPA, you cannot say 4-NDPA, that's true.
The presence of one does not mean the presence of the other.
So the presence of one derivative.
Yes, even with DPA itself.
I'm lost, my lord.
The presence of one of these are chemically different items that react differently when you test them.
Yes.
So you test for these. You cannot find 4-nitroso-DPA and say I found 2-NDPA.
Yes, that's true.
In fact, you can't even find 4-nitroso-DPA and you say I found DPA.
Yeah, that's true. They are different.
If you find DPA, you cannot say you found any of the derivatives.
If you find DPA in a mass spec, you'll see it as DPA. And if you find its derivatives, you see it as the derivative of DPA.
So you can't say you are testing for DPA and you get a result including the derivative.
Maybe I don't know how you put it. If you find a mass spec for DPA, it will have a unique fingerprint for DPA. If you find a mass spectrogram for 2-NDPA, it will have a unique fingerprint for that compound.
The answer is yes.
Yes,
You can't find 2-NDPA and say you have found DPA.
that's true.
In fact, if you find 4-NDPA and DPA, or 4-NDPA and whatever other derivative, that's not a forensic match.
If you found,
If you find on one item 4-NDPA and another item you find DPA or 2-NDPA, that's not a forensic match.
on a different item in the same environment originating from the same source or different
Once you
sources.
find 4-NDPA and 2-NDPA, that's not a forensic match. Those are two
Let me
different
get your
things.
question right. Right?
Yes.
If we found 4-NDPA here and we found DPA at the gate, that's the question.
No.
What's
My
your question?
You're testing different items.
Yes,
You're testing 12 swabs.
yes.
In one of them, you find 2-NDPA.
Hmm?
In another, you find DPA.
Mm-hmm.
In another, you find 4-NDPA.
Mhm.
There's no forensic match between the three of them.
That's what I'm asking. That's what I'm putting to you. Are they within the same vicinity or different vicinities?
In your lab,
In our lab, how?
you have blind samples.
Yes, we have blind samples.
So, in your blind samples,
Mhm.
are you finding a forensic? What I'm saying is,
Mhm.
if I test here and I find 2-NDPA,
Mhm.
and I test here and I find 2-NDPA,
Mhm.
I can say they match. They are both 2-NDPA.
Mhm.
If I test here, I find 2-NDPA,
Mhm.
and I find here DPA,
Mhm.
I can say there's no exact forensic match.
Forensic match, because the interpretation of DPA is you have to find DPA and one of its derivatives.
So whenever you find DPA,
You must find the
you
derivative.
must find the derivative.
Yes.
And if you don't find a derivative, what does that mean?
Well, does not give you a correct fingerprint for gunshot residue.
Thank you. So I want you to look at page 1,
And there,
M3.
true.
You find DPA
That's true.
with no other derivative.
That's true.
So it's not gunshot residue.
If it's not, if you find DPA alone plus nitroglycerin, where it gives you nitro group, then the combination of DPA and
No.
nitroglycerin.
You
Yes.
found here NG and DPA.
Yes.
Yeah?
Where are we on page
My lord, we are on
Number 9.
item number 9.
9?
He has
M3.
M3. He has NG and DPA. So you have found DPA without finding one of its nitro groups. And you said that's not gunpowder. Right?
So that's true.
Thank you. Let's move. Now, I just want you to get,
On 9,
yes, M3.
yes,
He has nitroglycerin and diphenylamine.
yes.
So he says if you find DPA but you don't find one of its nitro groups, that is not gunpowder. Now, I want you to go to Police Form 17A.
I don't have it.
Okay, the other report,
Which one?
the ballistics report.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just tell us what M3 is.
Under B, introduction 1, that's under B. Additional exhibits described below were submitted to the laboratory for examination by AIP Olugu Emmanuel on 5th of November 2023. Plate number 3, M2 and M3 are right-hand swabs from Mole.
So M3, right-hand swab of Mole. M3 is not gunshot residue. Look at M2. Read what M2 is. The results in your table.
M2 target non-detected.
So on Mole's right hand, there's no gunpowder. I want us now to keep
That
moving.
was M3 and M2.
M2 and M3.
Your first.
Apologies, my
On
lord.
M2, you also did not find.
On M2 target substance is non-detected, my lord.
So maybe if Mrs. Katanga could just wave her right hand at us, and we see the one which was not involved.
Is she wearing?
Yes, I think she can hear.
That's the left
The
hand.
right hand. Right hand. Thank you. No gunshot residue. I want us now to move to maybe we translate.
The witness, the interpreter might not return tomorrow. And I think that checking. So, so tomorrow we will look for a motor. No.
But she's been doing quite well for university and for
No, the thing is, this thing is checking. The council goes very fast. It goes very far. Council, he said the interpreter says you're going very fast. No, he goes like it. He prolongs it instead of.
I think my lord, we're waiting for her to interpret this sedentary argument.
right.
I'm not helping.
This one is going to interpret them.
Okay. Ekyo kikuru bariyo nibabuuza kuyatwire amasasi agibihire omu mbundu na n'embundu kuba babaire babicebera omu laboratory ebi bashangiremu nibiha bikaba nibikwatana n'eshagama ei beihire aha Mole Katanga ebimwe bagira ngu ebimwe bikaba bitakukwatana ebindi bantu ebindi bigumire. Laughing.
My lord shall said that the translation is difficult. Unable to translate.
So,
But we'll proceed. I will. We shall find a way. Now, you also testified in your evidence in chief that the DPA derivatives could not be transferred. These are the derivatives you listed, except through gunshot residue.
Come again.
In your evidence in chief, you say that these DPA derivatives are unique to gunshot residue.
Yes, I said.
You even claimed that there was no study on Earth which showed how these derivatives would move to people's hands.
Did I say that?
I remember you saying that quite distinctly.
what he said was that a population study was done, which indicated that from the sample taken of people moving around, there was no indication that DPA or its derivatives could casually move. For instance, if someone has used lotion or
Yes.
applied perfume, that is what he said.
Yes, that's from Lush Cosmetics. Then for gloves, he said they have to be heated at 65 degrees and they can ban your.
Yeah, he said for DPA or its derivatives to move from a glove to a hand,
Yes.
it must be subjected to intense temperature
And
of
that-
at least 65 degrees
degrees.
centigrade.
And that finding it is, therefore, these derivatives, finding them would make it unique to gunshot residue. That's what you said.
Come clear.
Did you say that finding these derivatives of DPA means that they are unique to gunshot residue?
Yes, I said.
Now, I want to you said also that studies have not shown you can detect DPA derivatives from a sampled population. You said that?
I cannot detect.
Sample studies,
Yes.
yes.
Not sure.
That
Yes.
population,
Yes.
Yeah, that is what.
from a population study.
Yes.
So I want to give you a study.
Mm-hmm.
You mind? Bring it. I want to give you a paper by an organization called Interpol.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the quote button? You know what Interpol is, right?
My lord,
I
can
do.
we have a copy? of-
Yes, yes. I'm
of
giving you a copy.
that paper?
I'm giving you a copy. Right now, right now, right now.
Is it
You need to be
as it
sitting.
has before?
Yes, 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 yes. You have that paper? I'm getting Mr. Mwaganya his copy shortly. Yeah. Okay. What a question. My Lord, I surrender mine too. So. Keep it. Keep it.
This one has no notes.
Give it to me.
Well,
Yeah,
It's okay.
Thank you, like that.
let him compare.
Am I asked?
Let them get comfort that it's the same document.
Bible can be translated. You know what Interpol is?
I do.
Uganda Police is part of Interpol.
We have a directorate of Interpol.
Uganda Police part of Interpol.
We have a directorate of Interpol in police.
Is Uganda, is it a member of that body?
I would think, yes, my lord, I think it's a member of this body.
Or Uganda Police is a part of it?
Yes, my lord.
As in,
Okay.
Police department.
Just
is
confirm
Uganda
that
Police a
study.
member? It's like saying you got United Nations. Is Uganda a member?
But the question was that Uganda Police is part of Interpol.
My lord, I think we've made progress.
Is a member.
Let us move.
Okay, Uganda Police is a member. How is Interpol arranged? Is it
Interpol in
membership?
police is a directorate.
What about what does Interpol stand for?
International police.
Does it have a body for international police?
Yes, my lord.
So how do countries become affiliated to Interpol?
This I don't know, my lord.
Okay, so now, Interpol
Yes.
and the authors are, who are the authors?
Can see Sebastian Charles, Nadia Guzen, and Batnis.
And that study became available when?
It was published 2023.
Okay. Just read for us the first paragraph.
This review paper covers advances in scientific methods applied to gunshot residue.
What
This-
does it do?
This review paper
Mhm.
covers advances in scientific methods applied to gunshot residues reported since the 18th Interpol Forensic Science Symposium in October 2019. Since
Yeah.
the 18th Interpol Forensic Science Symposium in October 2019.
And continue.
A literature search was conducted covering
Research was
conducted
conducted,
covering articles
covering articles
published in the main analytical and forensic journals in 2019, 2020, and 2021.
Okay, continue.
The terms searched in the titles, abstracts, and keywords were GSR,
Terms search to a gunshot residue.
GSR,
Mhm,
gunshot residue,
mhm.
shooting distance,
Muzzle to target.
firing distance, and muzzle to target distance.
Okay, continue.
A total of 137 articles were identified, of which 101 were selected for inclusion in this review.
So Interpol has identified a total of 137 articles on gunshot residue and placed them in this review, right?
Of how many?
137 articles
Were identified,
and 101
were selected.
and put in this review, right?
So that's true.
So this can be called a comprehensive literature review on gunshot residue.
If you want it to be. Because they've selected out, I don't know what's the inclusion and exclusion criteria.
Do you see the other part that's highlighted?
Yes, I can see it. I
Read
mean,
it.
on this one
It's
here.
on page 1.
This one here.
Yes. Maybe you can tell us the paragraph so that
Um,
I know my landman is preparing an objection.
I think it is the second paragraph. This is 1, this is 2.
Yes, read what's highlighted in that paragraph.
So it comes from somewhere. In this respect, it is interesting to note that there are still some issues with the analysis of OGSR in the context of expertise, explaining the still very limited number of laboratories that offer this type of analysis, which is often confined to the academic and university research.
That reads that in this respect, it is interesting to note that there are still some issues in the analysis of organic gunshot residue in the context of expertise, explaining the still very limited number of laboratories that offer this type of analysis, which is often confined to academic and university research, right?
That's what is here.
That's your method that you used.
That is what is here.
It's talking about the method you used, right?
Talk about the method I used.
Yes,
This paragraph
organic
here.
gunshot residue.
Yes, organic.
Okay.
Hmm?
Go to page 7.
7. Yes, there are 2 highlighted portions here.
One is under the
Kindly look here. There is this one, there is this one.
where I want the one which is under the prevalence and contamination studies.
Prevalence. And, yes, it's the one down here.
Yes, read it.
That's on page what?
Page 7.
Page 7. The prevalence of OGSR, the prevalence of AGSR was examined.
The prevalence of OGSR, which stands for organic gunshot residue, right?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Was examined by Magnelli et al. Manganelli et al. In two target populations, namely the general population and the police.
So let me, the presence
with 8 OGSR compounds traced.
So they examined civilian and police populations,
Yes.
looked at 8 OGSR compounds, and used a liquid chromatography mass spectrometry method. Okay, so UP LCMSMS is actually, the LCMSMS is liquid chromatography mass spectrometry. Is it a study referenced by Interpol?
We received it. Yes, it is the study.
The study referenced by Interpol. Also in an internationally peer-reviewed journal, right?
The same journal.
Which is international peer-reviewed, right?
Both papers are from the same journal.
Read the abstract of the study.
Which study now?
The Manganelli one. We have moved from Interpol. Now we are going to
I
do
leave this one
Manganelli.
out now.
Yeah, put it there.
So the abstract here.
Yeah.
This study investigated the prevalence of 8 OGSR compounds in a civilian and a police population. Specimens were collected from the hands and sleeves of 122 civilians and 115 individuals working in police services using carbon stabs. Data was acquired using liquid chromatography coupled to tandem mass spectrometry.
That's the method you used.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Results indicated a non-negligible prevalence in the civilian sample.
The sample in the civilian population was not negligible.
Non-negligible, yes.
Non-negligible. Uh-huh.
With 18% of the
18% of the
122 civilian sampled having one or more OGS-rated compounds in their hands and 11.5 on their wrists or sleeves.
Okay, you can stop there. The civilians. You don't have to go into the police.
Can we see which compounds these are?
Go to page 50. Table 2. Can you read the compounds?
Acadite,
Acadite,
methyl centralite,
Mm-hmm.
N-N-diphenyl formamide, ethyl centralite.
So just hold on. These ones are on your table, right?
Which one?
This one.
What is in my table here is the MC.
MC. So we have here Acadite 2.
Mhm.
We have something called MC.
Mhm.
It's in your table. Yeah.
MC is in my table, yes.
We have NNDPF, right?
That's not in my table.
It's in your table. We have EC.
AC is in my table.
We have 2NDPA.
That's in my table.
We have 4-nitro-DPA. 4-NNDPA.
That is in my table.
We have DPA.
That's in my table.
And we have nitroso-DPA.
That's true.
Now, so it's correct that this study includes DPA and the derivatives in your table.
That's true.
Go to the conclusions, page 55.
Which part do you want to read?
But before we even do that, 18% means on average 1 in 5 people has those compounds on their hands.
10% of what?
The civilian population.
1 in 5 people?
Yeah, average. Like now, the assessors and ourselves here, there's DPA here. That's what that study means.
This is what, maybe that's what the study means.
Yeah, now, page 55.
Mm-hmm. Page 50.
Page 55, conclusion.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to read, sorry. Maybe we can be translating. I'm going to get to the part to read.
Yambuza yana amanye ekitweka kya poliisi ekibakweta Interpol, that is international police, yagira ngu ebu nagimanya. Yambuza yabe n'ekitweka hari police, yagira ngu n'ekitweka hari police, na yambuza ngu ekihandiiko ekya Interpol ekiyahandikire kuyabe nakora test ziyakozire aha mbundu na n'amasasi. Report ye akajiha kukira ekeberi mu report y'ekitongole kya Interpol yamgira ngu egweru yamtwara hanaka aha report mu report munda yambuze bitweka biba barimu bashobora akumbuza yambya ngu ebinje biri mu report ya police ya Interpol akabito mu report birumu bayana nagamba ha table eri mu report yeye na table eri mu report ya Interpol police agira ngu ebinji birumu ebindi tibirumu konke bikukira bwinji birumu.
Okay, now, what 55 is conclusion, because page 56.
Just a minute, Thomas. Yes, proceed.
Page 56.
Page 50.
6. Now, page 56.
Just a minute. "56, I am there."
Page 56. See the last paragraph, further.
Yes,
Before that paragraph, there's a line from. You see it? So
the line,
count 7 lines from the last paragraph.
7. What 7 years it appears from the last paragraph?
The last paragraph starts further. So you count the word detected, the word on, the word environment, the word support, the word
Lower prevalence, it
the word
appears.
is then from. It's the second starts from.
So inside here,
Yes.
yes.
Read it.
From the present results,
From the present results,
it appears
yes,
that there is an important prevalence
there is an important prevalence.
for single compounds.
Continue.
The simultaneous detection of 2 compounds
The simultaneous detection of 2 compounds
shows
shows
a lower prevalence,
a lower prevalence.
mhm,
And
and the detection of 3
detection of 3 or more
compounds
compounds
supports the hypothesis of a firearm origin
rather than
rather than environmental source.
That means, from my understanding, you can correct me,
Mhm.
that where you find 1 compound, that is common. Where you find 2 compounds, confirm. That means where you find 1 compound, that is common.
According to these authors,
Yes, where you find 1 compound, that's common.
where you find 1 compound, that's
That is common.
Mhm.
Where you find 2 compounds, that's less common.
That's less common.
And where you find 3 compounds, that supports the hypothesis of a firearms discharge.
Yes.
Now, using study that you sent us to look for, kindly go back to your report.
Mhm.
Let's go to page 1.
Yes. I'm at page 1.
Yeah. You're at page 1?
Yes.
I want us to go through these items to see where we found 3 or 2 or 1. Using the Manginelli criteria, 3 is indicative of firearm discharge, 2 are not, 1 is absolutely not.
But my lord, what council did not spell out is what the target population was. It is the population here. If you go to paragraph 2, materials and methods, just check it there.
What's the population of Switzerland?
You check it there, kindly.
Mention what you say.
Yes. Specimens were collected from 2 populations. The first one is a so-called civilian population composed of 122. We are not even sure. It's so-called. 122 in volunteers with no or limited access. That's
limited access to what?
Contact with firearms.
So the study was taken from 122 people with no or limited access to firearms.
That means they have contact with firearms.
They have no or limited contact.
They have contact with firearms.
I want us now to use that conclusion. You shall have the debate with the authors later.
No, because
you see what you told us.
This has to be interpreted in tandem because you are picking sections.
Doctor, first hold on. Stop panicking. Let me just relax.
No. You're telling me to
I want to ask you a question, and I want you to answer, and I want you to support.
Let's be orderly.
Yes.
You see, council, yes, the court needs to understand this is a highly technical area. If the witness is giving clarity, let's give him an opportunity. But also your question must be answered.
My lord, the witness has told us That this is a population of 122 people with no or limited access to firearms.
This is one. The first one is a so-called civilian population.
Yes.
What does it mean to you? If someone says the first one is population, and someone says the so-called civilian population, what does it mean to you? This study was conducted on people who are handling firearms.
It was the for me it means
Yes.
that population was labeled civilian.
Was labeled
Was
civilian.
labeled civilian.
My lord, that's what you say. Because otherwise they would have said the first population is the civilian population.
They said
But here it says, I don't know whether they've given you a copy.
We should have a fine definition of that.
But because you are jumping here and there, and you're not giving me time to internalize.
No. So your objection is that the civilian population was called so-called. Okay.
There are two objections on this.
So-
One.
Uh-huh. One.
The so-called civilian population.
Mhm. Where is that?
It is in under paragraph 2, materials and methods.
Materials and methods.
Just go there.
Uh-huh.
So the so-called civilian population of 122 volunteers with no or limited contact with firearms. What criteria did they use to assess? This is what we do when we're criticizing literature. We don't just pick it and then use it.
you continue reading
Yes, because those are two objections I have. The so-called civilian population,
and
and then little or no, I think no or limited contact. I don't know how do you quantify limited in this context, but that's it for him. That's what I wanted to point out here. Can go to where I want to be. Proceed to where I want to be. Which page?
So now you have expressed yourself.
Yes, I have.
Thank you. Your objection is the word so-called. Now let's use Manganelli's conclusions to go back to your table.
But this Manganelli conclusion is what I'm contesting.
No, but Manganelli was good enough to enter Interpol.
Was good enough.
You
Yes,
told us
was captured in
out
Interpol.
of
answer that question.
Yes.
Then there will be clarification
Okay, my lord.
in re-examination.
Yes, my lord.
you just see a study and you don't like the results.
Counsel.
Okay.
So I don't want to say that you borrow some, but really.
I've been said to be.
Just let the matter lie.
Yes, exactly.
Manganelli formula.
Yes.
Test items and findings, table 3. Can you confirm on page 1?
You'll be kind enough to avail photocopy of that.
Yes.
Those reports.
Yes, I will. My lord, I will, but we shall have that debate. I know they will object. My lord, we shall have that debate after.
But I need to follow and read.
Yes. My lord, this debate was already had in this very case. When the pathologist was here, we subjected him to the same peer-reviewed journals, and your land brother ruled that as long as we are referring to scientific authorities, we must supply them to the court.
Because now
That's ruling.
I need to read the whole document.
And I will certainly provide it, my lord. But now, Manganelli formula, 1, 2, 3. 3 shows.
So where are we?
On his report now.
Page 1 of P45.
Yes, page 1 of P45. Just confirm that the only item here that has 3 compounds is D5.
D5 had 3 compounds.
It's the only one. We can start from up. D3 has 1.
D3 has 2 compounds.
D3 has how many compounds?
Has 2 compounds.
D3 has 2 compounds. Just slow down. D3 has 2 compounds.
Yes.
D4 has 1.
D4 has 1, yes.
And according to Manganelli, very common.
Well, there's a problem with Manganelli, but let's go by it.
D5, yes, let's go by it.
Yes.
We shall give it others.
Yes.
Don't worry, we have others.
Yes, bring them.
D5,
Please. D5 here has 3.
3.
Yes.
Do you know what D5 was? Go to the ballistics report we see, because this
D5,
is indicative of a gun. Someone here used a gun. What was D5?
D5, according to bullets number 8, D5, swabs from the muzzle of gunshot residue, exhibit 4.
Exhibit 4 is the pistol. So D4 is a swab of the gun, so the gun has gunpowder. Very good.
Which one, D?
D5.
D5 here in the ballistics report is indicated as swab from the muzzle of gunshot residue, exhibit 4.
The muzzle is the mouth of the gun, right?
Yes.
So OC1 has nothing.
OC1, target substance not detected.
OC2 nothing.
Target substance not detected.
KP1.
KP1 has
KP has 1.
NNDPS.
And according to Manganelli, fairly common. M1 has 1. Fairly common. M2, you already told us, is not gunshot residue. M2, okay, M2 has none.
M2 target not detected.
So M2 has none. M2 is more like Katanga's right hand.
I don't know.
M3.
M3 has nitroglycerin and diphenylamine.
And you already explained to us how this is not gunshot residue. 10-1.
Where is that? Page?
Page 2. Page 2.
Page 2, where exactly?
The second paragraph of page 2.
Under examination request?
Above it.
Above it is, I can see KP, OC1, and OC2.
And then the next one.
We have different reports. This is OC1, C2, and then examination request here.
Can I come there and show you?
Please come. I'm wondering. You gave it to me. Okay, you can sort it. You can hold, you can sort it out.
Can you tell us what those are?
Under chemical analysis, that is 3D. That is 3D chemical analysis. 3D Roman numeral 2. Control swabs CS1 and CS2 obtained by swabbing the hands of the examiner and the work surface, respectively, prior to obtaining samples for gunshot residue analysis.
So that's not you.
No, this is not me.
So you yourself, you are not swabbed.
No?
Nor was Isoba.
Sorry?
Isoba also wasn't swabbed.
No, he was not.
The technician also wasn't swabbed.
No, he was.
paragraph. First of all, let's start at
The disclaimer.
page 2. Sorry, let's start at page 2.
Why don't we start at the disclaimer?
It is him reading you.
I'm there, my lord.
You see, page 2 has definitions, right?
It has terminology.
Terminology.
Yes.
I want you to look at 3.1.14.
3.1.14.
Yes,
Single base.
yes.
Single base and smokeless powders contain nitrocellulose as a major energetic material.
Single base contains nitrocellulose as the major energetic material, right?
You know what that means?
I want you to look at 3.1.5,
As the major,
energetic material.
You know what that means?
Tell us.
It's a major, they could be minor.
it is a what?
It reads here, where council has guided me, smokeless powders containing nitrocellulose as the major energetic material.
Okay, so I want you to read now 3.1.5.
Smokeless powder,
No, 3.1.5 is double base.
3.1.5 double base.
Yes,
N, smokeless powder containing nitrocellulose and nitroglycerin as the major energetic material.
containing nitrocellulose and nitroglycerin.
Yes.
That's a double base. A single base containing
Containing,
nitrocellulose as the major energetic material, right?
you've read it right.
So double base is smokeless.
My
Double
lord,
base, smokeless powder and propellant, confirm you use them in this court interchangeably.
my lord, let me answer a question. We are at
3.1.5. And
3.1.5.
you're asked to read double base.
Yes.
Mhm.
Double base N, smokeless powder
Mhm.
containing nitrocellulose and nitroglycerin as the major energetic materials.
So,
And the one we read before,
no.
Mhm.
On that one, double base. The major energetic materials for a double base are nitrocellulose and nitroglycerin, right?
as indicated here,
Then, for a single base, the major energetic material is nitrocellulose, right?
yes, that's what's indicated
What
here.
about smokeless powder, 3.1.15?
3.115, smokeless powder, N, a propellant, and a low explosive composed of nitrocellulose and other organic and inorganic compounds.
When I told you that nitrocellulose is the primary requirement for a propellant, I was right.
Smokeless powder, a propellant and low explosive composed of nitrocellulose and other organic or inorganic compounds.
You see nitroglycerin there?
No, but this means something else.
So a propellant
My lord.
composed of nitrocellulose. First
A propellant
Mhm.
and low explosive composed of nitrocellulose and other organic and inorganic compounds. That's what is written here.
That's smokeless powder.
That's what is written here, yes.
So we've defined three things:
Mhm.
smokeless powder, single base, and double base.
You're confusing something here.
No.
You're confusing something here.
Before we get there,
You're confusing quote
let's
on
first agree.
this.
There are three things we have described, right?
You have made me read three things.
Yes. So I made you read single base,
Mhm.
double base,
Mhm.
and smokeless powder.
Yes.
And the one compound that exists in all of them
Mhm.
is
So
nitrocellulose.
that's what you're confusing. That's what you're confusing. The first two talk about which one was it?
No, let's finish.
Let me clarify on this one. Let me clarify on this one.
You can help.
There is even quadruple.
No. In this
Let
document,
me clarify on what you
this
talked about
document is no
before.
quadruple.
Let me go to what you started
My
with.
Lord, does a witness have an opportunity to answer?
Yeah.
Even in cross-examination, a witness should have the space to provide answers.
Much obliged. Tell us. Educate us.
3.1.5 talks about energetic materials.
3.1
You read it to quote.
double base.
Read it to quote. Yes.
Double base.
Yes.
Smokeless powder containing nitrocellulose and nitroglycerin as the major energetic material.
Yes. And then 3.1.14 reads single base
Yes.
smokeless powder containing nitrocellulose as the major energetic material.
Yes.
So these two relates to one category of classes we talked about before, energetic materials.
Yes.
Then
Propellant.
you go to this one, a propellant and low
No,
explosive.
just hold on. In evidence in chief, did you not tell this court under oath that energetic materials are the propellant?
Yes.
Okay. Now continue.
So here you come and say a smokeless powder N, a propellant and low explosive compound and low explosive composed of nitrocellulose and other organic and inorganic compounds.
Single base, double base, smokeless powder, all of them need to have nitrocellulose.
They have nitrocellulose and other organic compounds.
Double base is the one that has nitroglycerin.
Double base, yes, that's one which has nitrocellulose and
As well as
nitroglycerin.
triple base, stand to the top of the next page.
And so I want to answer.
Much obliged.
Before he finishes answering, you're asking. And we also have to take notes so we end up getting
Okay,
notes.
maybe the question. Single base, double base, and smokeless powder all contain nitrocellulose, right?
That's what is indicated here.
And double base contains nitrocellulose and
And
nitroglycerin.
as the major energetic material.
And triple base,
Where is it found?
page 3.
Page 3 here has triple base, yes. Triple base N. Smokeless powder containing nitrocellulose, nitroglycerin, and nitroguanidine.
And another one called nitroguanidine.
Guanidine.
A double base,
A double base defined here.
nitrocellulose.
Organic.
So the primary minimum requirement for the identification of a propellant and smokeless powder is the presence of nitrocellulose.
The primary,
Yes, the minimum criteria to identify
and
smokeless
listed
powder.
anywhere I can find it here.
That's what those definitions mean.
Oh, sorry.
No need to be sarcastic. Answer
No,
our
no, no, no.
questions.
No, because you are
Answer our
you
question.
are deriving
My
it.
question was-
You are deriving it
My
from
question,
this.
please
You are
answer.
deriving it from
Listen,
this.
Listen to my question.
Yes.
My question, according to that, the minimum criteria for the identification of a smokeless powder is the presence of nitrocellulose.
Because let me read the quote again. We've been here since
Don't
morning.
thoroughly read.
3.1.
My lord, we really ask that court reigns on counsel to treat this witness with dignity.
Okay.
It's not a quarrel, my lord.
Okay.
We all want to follow and understand.
Please.
My lord, the problem I'm having. My lord,
My lord, he needs to answer. But the way you're shooting, even before he finishes, answer.
And besides
Court is
that,
getting
my lord,
lost, the interpreter is getting lost, the assessors are, you have your points, you have time. Just give the points the opportunity to come out.
much obliged.
and besides that, my lord, they have been here singing disclosure, disclosure, disclosure. We also requested them for disclosure, and they didn't disclose anything. They come with documents in today, and they are presenting them to the doctor, and they expect him to read, internalize as questions are coming. I mean, what human being operates like that? If you are the
Counsel,
one
we are now
arguing
also
for one.
going down the route that we have. We have discouraged.
Yes, my lord.
Let's not use language like what human being.
To determine if an individual has discharged a firearm.